띵띵.
오!
됐다.
이렇게 하고.
오오오. 우와.
와우.
우와.
고기
와우.
조명 마치 twinkle 가졌어요. make it good.
보는 분들 다 이게 뭐야 진짜? 생각할 거죠?
And then the bus driver, through his microphone, he was like, he was like, 외국인, where are you from?
난 궁금해요. 한국 왜 어떻게 좀 그 관심 생겼어요? 어떻게 알아서 한국?
When I was young, I always had Asian friends and I also had Korean friends. Yeah, I always felt like the upbringing was kind of similar because I'm half Albanian, so I was raised a little bit stricter than Germans.
German's pretty strict though. My parents are German.
Yeah, but not in Germany. Most German parents are not strict at all.
Ah.
Yeah, but yeah. So and when I lived in the States, I got interested in K-dramas. Yeah, it was during quarantine, so I didn't. I loved watching TV shows, and I was like, why not start a Korean drama? I had no connection whatsoever, and yeah, I liked it. And I was like,
어떤 거 봤어요?
my first one was Revolutionary Love. It's with Choi Siwon. I actually met him like a year ago.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Your first K-drama?
Yeah,
you met the actor?
Yeah, I met the actor. He owns like a bar in Apgujeong.
Ah.
And I met him there, and I was like, oh my god, this is a full circle moment. I'm supposed to be here. Yeah.
Meant to be. It was meant to be.
Yeah. But I was so shy to talk to him. I was like,
Okay. Something
Yeah.
happens to us here.
Yeah.
It is true. It's hard to leave. Once you come here, it's hard to go back and you feel like it's not the same.
like I know just a few people who were like, okay, I'm gonna go. This is not for me. But most people that come here, they're like, I found my calling. I found my place. Yeah.
Do you have any tricks?
No.
Okay.
We already did them. 했어요.
Okay, I have a song.
Oh?
A song?
I have a song. 마셔라. 소리
What is the rest?
소리 들어간다.
Oh,
소리 들어간다. 쭉쭉쭉쭉쭉.
Can you sing it while you...
아니?
You pour your own soju.
Oh no!
Yes, I do. Okay, wait, 잠깐만. 호칭 해야 돼.
호칭 뭐예요?
호칭 means we check our age and then we decide how we can speak to each other.
아.
나이 어떻게? 내
저는
생각에는 막내.
막내.
맞을 것 같아요.
막내인데.
몇 살? I'm not
그
getting
한국 나이랑 국제 나이 지금
국제 나이.
똑같잖아요.
그래.
제가 26살입니다. 하기.
몇 살이에요?
저 93이에요. 30살이에요.
Oh, I'm just 10 years older than you.
맞아요.
83.
네.
와.
네.
오케이. 이거 근데 이거 재밌다. 20대, 30대, 40대.
와, 제너레이션 세 개
It's
있어.
generation party. Okay, alright.
그럼 우리 존댓말 해야 돼요? 존댓말 해야 돼요.
안 돼. 반말하자.
안 돼. 하자.
근데 오케이.
왜?
그냥 respect 하고 싶어요.
오케이. 언니만 할 수 있을까? 언니가
오케이, 언니.
편한 분위기 좋아해.
아.
오! Wow.
오.
This one was easy.
샷.
술 먹을 때 어떤 리듬으로? Are you fast drinker or slow drinker?
Just a
A drinker?
drinker. Yeah.
I became a slow drinker because, I'm still young, but I learned that if you drink fast, bad things happen.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Your
You-
mind gets clouded.
Right. Oh, I don't want her to be so cold.
There you go.
That's actually yours.
In Belgium, there is a thing. When you finish the bottle, you have to blow into the bottle and make a wish, and then close the bottle.
사랑스럽다.
다른 사람에게 해야 돼요. 왜냐면
네.
소원 있으니까 다른 사람한테 소원 주고 싶다. 그럼 그 사람 부르고 닫고 그 소원 여기 안에
우와.
있을 거예요.
아 진짜 예쁘다. 조금 따뜻해요.
Yeah.
Can you feel it? It's not coming to you, is it?
My eyes are feeling it.
I mean,
if you imagine it,
yes! It's like
Lena will
the
come.
some people they put like a fire on their TV
Oh yeah.
yeah,
because it makes them feel hotter.
yeah.
It's
It's fine. It's just that my toes, they're not toes anymore.
a toast to your
They're little
toes.
ice.
To getting drunk in Korea.
Oh,
How about that?
gotta love that.
Ooh.
진짜 큰일 나.
Oh. There's so much grease in there.
이거 기다리면서
Yeah.
고기 이거 해볼까?
이거
이거
뭐예요?
뭐예요?
맛을.
마스?
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
그냥
Okay. Just
할까요?
어떤
그냥 해.
색깔이에요?
무섭다.
Blue? Is
I
it
think
blue?
it's
What
maybe stand up.
Should I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire safety coach over here.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Just drop it.
재밌다. Oh, I'm so scared my arm's gonna light on fire.
와 너무 예뻐요.
와 너무 좋아요.
여기 너무 추워서 집 안에 굽고 다시 나와야겠다. 그래서 들어가고 조금 warming up.
네.
좋아요.
다시
좋아요.
나오자.
좋아요.
진짜.
가자.
오케이.
가자.
그렇게 하자.
밖이 너무 추워서 고기가 안 구워.
Yeah. Jiggle. Mama, you don't jiggle. Jiggle? You mean juggle? Can you jiggle? Yeah, I can jiggle. Juggle. Jiggle. It's not jiggle? No. Juggle. Can you do? No, I can't juggle. Wow, you're talented. No. What are you doing? 마치 된 것 같았어 꽁 땅땅땅 땅땅땅땅 땅땅땅 마치 된 것 같았어 나 우는 진 아메 make it good got it 오 I want to eat it with my hands.
Can we just eat one?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I think don't we have to wait for the...
I can.
It's like really okay. Super crispy. 왜냐면 저기 그 기름이 안 it doesn't drain.
Yeah.
I feel bad because it's like this is like super bacon.
It is like bacon,
But it's still good.
but it's really good.
Wait.
It's giving jerky in a way. Can I have one more bacon chip?
Bacon chips.
How is it?
기름 너무 많아서 so much oil so it's like
It's so good though. I'm so hungry.
We like a bacon party. Oh, you eat it?
well it's like cartilage.
I eat everything. Like ever since I came to Korea, I started eating everything, and I
Yeah.
used to be so picky.
Were you?
Yeah, I was like the pickiest. Like when it came to meat, I was almost like vegetarian.
Really?
Yeah, but then I came here, and now I eat everything. I love sundae. Yeah.
순대?
But
I'm not sure.
yeah, yeah. But like the crunchy stuff, I cannot. Like bones. No. Like 닭발.
Well, 닭발 좋아해요.
쪽팔도 안 좋아.
I don't like the.
닭발 좋아해? 먹어봤어?
닭발 안 먹어봤어.
어?
좀 무서워요.
무서워요? 그 뼈 없는 것도 주문할 수 있어요.
아, 진짜요?
뼈 없는 게.
닭발.
뼈를 미리 like 재고
Oh, 있어?
take them out.
That's okay.
무뼈, 무뼈. 무 means like
Okay,
no.
that's good. I would eat that. Yeah.
It's good. It's just so super 매워.
I love spicy.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah, my favorite is like yoki tteokbokki, but like the Mara style, like the really spicy, like the highest spice level.
마라탕 스타일.
That's
Maratang
what I eat
좋아해.
at home every day.
Oh.
Every day.
Every day, really every day. It's my drug.
저는 좋아하는데 먹을 때마다 배 아파서.
배
그래서 먹고 그 다음날 아 그렇구나. 그렇구나.
망고 먹었지?
Yeah,
네.
but it's worth it in the moment, and then the next day you're like,
You're like, oh,
why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
배가
Yeah.
부글부글.
Yeah.
진짜 소리 많이.
Yeah.
I love that we're eating this
I've
with our
never,
hands.
I've never had it like
No,
this
it's the first
before.
time like
보는
eating.
분들 다 야, 이게 뭐야 진짜? 생각할 거죠?
I'm sorry.
죄송합니다. 죄송합니다. 우리 원래 이렇게 안 먹어요.
맛있는데?
너무 맛있어.
I need more.
Are we just gonna eat
The
everything?
kimchi.
I think
Eat
so.
the kimchi.
The kimchi?
Mmm!
Is it good? Crispy?
Crispy? That wasn't crispy. There's a piece right there. Kugo.
That
That's
was very
move.
crispy.
That's move.
What is meat?
Ah,
Move.
radish. Moo means like the daikon radish. Like
The yellow one?
No. 아니, 그거 the yellow one you mean like when you go to Kumchi?
Mm.
That's the same vegetable, but that has turmeric in it.
Yeah.
So it's not moo. It's a
That's
different
moo
name.
too, but that's called
It's called
cock-a-doodle-doo. Yeah, it's called. Why can't I? Tanmuji.
Tamji.
Tanmuji.
Wow!
Oh,
고기.
고기.
웨빈 진짜 잘 굽네.
We like gogi.
와우.
We like big.
이거
Korean
목살이에요?
like
목살?
목살입니다. 먹고 싶어요.
What's been like the hardest thing though for you guys in Korea?
The cold.
But isn't it cold?
In Germany, no, that's what everybody assumes. They're like, oh my
It's
god,
not
Germany is so cold. You must be so used to it. No,
It's not cold.
it's not like it gets here. You know, like so I prefer Korean winter because it's sunnier. Because in
It is
Germany,
very sunny here.
there's no sunlight.
Same
right?
in Canada, no sun.
Yeah. Like here, you have like every 10th day might be like overcast, right?
Yeah.
But in Germany, it's like the other way around.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, Germany is really similar to Canada except
Yeah.
warmer. Because Canada's
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's
they
like
can't.
-5 is maybe like the lowest it gets,
Huh?
or maybe like a day where it's like maybe -10, but that's like the super
Yeah.
extreme.
그래서
Yeah.
그래서 한국 겨울도 추운데 더
Yeah.
좋아해요. 그 맑았어. because it's 쨍쨍. 쨍쨍.
Yeah.
What is thinking?
It means it's sunny.
Oh.
쨍쨍. Like
Yeah.
shiny.
Yeah, no, I definitely prefer it over German winter, even though it's much colder. But the cold here is like insane.
That's true.
Yeah.
You need to go to Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, is it worse?
Oh my god, yeah.
Really?
Way worse. This is
Okay.
nothing.
Really?
This is not. That is nothing.
Really? You would also go camping like in Canada in -20?
No, you
Oh.
don't go camping.
Oh.
It's too cold. But I was a snowboarder, so I was like always outside. But okay, so in Canada, it's really, really cold. Like one time I went to Calgary. 일하러 갔어요. We say cold snap when like suddenly it gets super, super cold. -40. Yeah.
Like Celsius.
Like actually -40.
What?
So I went outside the hotel and like everything froze when you breathe. Like it hurt. It was
Your body freezes?
like it feels like all the snot in your nose just completely freezes like
Bro.
instantly.
And when you breathe, like your like it turns into ice.
yeah, you breathe
An ice
icicles. They're just like that's the hanu. Okay, let's go.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm so
마이크
scared.
마이크 펴야 되거든요.
It's time.
We need more sword.
Oh, that one was
That was a
pretty
really good one.
good. Ooh, I'm getting good at this.
Korean.
Koreans comment about your eyes a lot, right?
No, I mean yeah, they say they're big, and then they say eyes big, nose tall.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, it's a compliment.
Yeah, it is.
I had that happen to me on the subway in Daegu. These people came around. They're all standing around me. They're like, Koga, wow. I'm like, I know, it's big, right?
But I used to not like my nose, but ever since I came to Korea, I'm like, I like it. It's a good nose.
Because it's like the beauty idea.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow. I used to hate it so much.
I have always hated my nose. And I remember when I first came to Korea, 처음 왔을 때, 이거 한국말로 해볼게요. 처음 왔을 때 내가 그 영어 선생님 활동했을 때 학생 한 명 나한테 와가지고 teacher, 영어로 teacher, why your nose hole so big?
Your nose hole? Really? Your nose hole?
그래서 내가 그냥 보고 I looked at him and I was like, 나도 몰라.
장갑. 마셔라 소리 들어간다 쭉쭉쭉쭉쭉 I'm gonna eat it like this.
Sometimes the best.
벌써 차가워졌어.
It's already cool, man.
But I mean, it's
그래도.
still really good.
Even if it's cold.
It's really good. So this is the hannu, right?
The samjang is like ice cream.
Ice cream sometimes.
Nice flavor. Oh my god.
근데 한우 저 먹어봤을 때 어땠어요? 진짜 내가 내 눈이 진짜 들어갔어요. 난 진짜 맛있어.
Really?
내가 한우 처음 먹었을 때
It's frozen. It's like
Oh my god, it is frozen.
mmm.
야, 고기 아이스크림 어때요?
Is it good? Are you not
It's
thinking
like-
about ice cream?
It's something.
It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
It's so good.
Oh my god.
It's not recommendable.
That is bad.
Oh wait, it's stuck.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, it's not recommendable.
No,
Don't follow this at home.
don't try this at home. Very
그래도
dangerous.
깻잎 너무 좋아해요.
Yeah, 나도.
너무 좋아.
But this was terrible.
No? Do you want like a cocktail or something?
No.
I kind of want a cocktail.
밀키스 할까? 밀키스. 내가 그거 배워서 최근에.
밀크티랑 소주.
저
아니요.
우유 뭐 먹어요?
아니요. 오케이, 밀키스 그 음료수 알아?
아니 알아요. 근데
그거 안 들어가. 근데 그 맛으로 맥주, 소주, 사이다.
오.
있어요?
그렇게 하고 그 컵 안에 이렇게 바로 마시면 밀키스 맛 나.
아 진짜요?
해보자. 소주.
소주?
Mhm.
It's frozen,
It's
legit.
frozen.
잠깐만.
Oh, but it's a slushy.
But that's good.
Oh, 맛있겠다, 맛있겠다.
Oh, it's
It's a
gonna be
slushy
nice. I was gonna think like maybe we should have like ice, but this is icy enough.
We have it. Okay. Who's drinking this? Because one of you have to drink it.
I'll drink it,
Okay.
or maybe not.
Drink it. It's everywhere. Sorry. Does it
How
taste
is
like
it?
milky?
I've never tried Milky's because I can't
It
drink
tastes like
milk,
Milky's.
but it tastes like Milky's.
Does Milky's have milk in it?
Mhm.
So if you don't shake it, it doesn't taste like milk. It's like
I don't
only
know.
if
I
you
think
shake
the
it.
shake is like an integral part. I mean, I
Physics.
saw it on the internet, so now I can do it, right? Oh my god.
If you see it on the internet, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna like.
This is so interesting.
I don't want to shake it as violently as I did last time. 우리 계속 영어 하고 있어.
Oh,
Oh sh.
It looks
Okay, go fast.
먹어보자. 감사합니다.
One shot.
one shot.
One shot 할 수 있으나.
Mom spaghetti.
어때요? 어때? 괜찮아? 밀키스 맛?
밀키스 맛 아닌데
어.
혹시 데스페라도스 알아요?
Oh yeah,
Desperados.
Desperados. Yeah, it's like a beer with like tequila in
Beer
it.
with tequila. Or do you know Corona? Corona the
Yeah.
Corona
That
the
one. The good
It tastes
Corona.
like Corona.
Yeah, it does. It
Like
does.
if you,
You're right.
Like lime.
Like lime, tequila, and beer.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's weird because there's no lime and tequila, but it tastes like
It
that.
tastes like that.
Yeah,
You
it
should.
tastes
You
like-
should.
I'll try it.
Okay. Should I make it for you or?
Do you want to try making it?
I mean, I used to be a bartender, so
Yeah, that's right.
I
Oh, yeah,
should
right.
She's a
know how to
bartender.
make it. I mean, one shot of this, yeah, and then one shot of that.
This is really cold. I don't want your hands.
Another piece of
All
blue.
good. All good. All good. Yeah, And then I will add some beer too because I'm German and beer is really important. And then I will shake it because we love to shake it. Okay, done. 했다.
한 번에.
Okay. One shot, one opportunity.
Oh,
It tastes like Corona.
it tastes like Milky's a little, I think.
A little bit.
It's good, actually.
But it's so interesting to eat frozen meat. It's a new experience. It is.
It is. No, you're right.
It's new.
It isn't. I've never had it before. Because life is too short. That's why I love Korea, to be honest, because it's like so many people don't take themselves like. I mean, there's a lot of people who think they're like the shit, but there's a lot of people who don't take themselves too seriously, like even when they're older. So they're still remaining silly and they're still like being cute and have a lot of fun and like go out on dates. I saw like an elderly couple on the bus the other day and they're like kissing their cheek the whole time and like whispering in their ears, and I was like, what? I feel so single, but also your guys are amazing. I love you. But that's what I love about Korea, just like the silliness and okay, I mean we're eating right now, but I realized that, for instance, in dramas, they talk a lot about pooping. Like 90% of dramas, pooping is like a topic in it, which I think is great because we all do it. And I'm like, it's like it gets destigmatized here, which I think is great. Yeah.
I've been waiting 11 years for
To talk
another
about
foreigner
To talk about.
I'm here. What's up?
But you know, like before she said it, I never even like thought about that. But then when she said it, I was like,
I think about this a lot. Maybe
While
too
you're
much.
pooping. No.
While you're pooping.
Yeah.
I think about this on the toilet. I think about everything. When I had my first baby,
Yeah.
and like there's all these pororo videos about like 응가동이 마려워, and I'm like, look, you're making it so okay for kids to know that that's a bodily function that is okay. But in my country, like I grew up so like nervous and shy.
There's so many people who tell me they only take a poop at home. I'm like, just do it when you have to do it.
I'm probably gonna cut all this part out, but
it would be funny if you let it in.
I think you
Yeah.
can just let it in. I don't
think it would
mind
be
talking
fun.
about poop publicly.
we like the poop princesses of Korea. These foreigners talk about shit while they're eating meat that's frozen.
They're gonna think we're really crazy.
How about we take a shot?
Yeah, I think that's a good
Oh.
idea.
Oh, this shot. Okay. It really tastes like desperado.
Oh, you can drink that too.
Can I drink it?
You drink whatever you want. She's so frozen.
Oh my god.
What I wanted to say is like, I really like the ajumas in Korea because, for example, like my parents came to Korea last summer, and my mom, she doesn't dye her hair black, so her hair is all white and like gray.
Yeah.
And so all the ajumas on the subway, they would like call her to sit in the, you know, like old
Yeah.
people seats, and they would like look at her and be like, ha ha ha, why don't you dye your hair? And they would be like, oh, you have gray hair, and she was just like, hee hee.
She's like, yeah, cool.
And they were all just like, yeah, that's it. Like they were like making this kind of group with my mom, like you're one of us.
Oh.
And I thought it was so cute. And my dad and I were just standing. Harmonies. Yeah. Sorry. The harmonies.
I'm like, I'm gonna.
Oh, the harmonies.
Yeah,
Sorry.
harmony. No,
Yeah.
but that is so true though, because I always felt like that too with Korea. That harmonies are like your best ally.
Harmonies are your best friends.
Yeah.
Really?
When I was like a little foreign mom and had this like baby, and then the harmonies come and they want to like, you know, oh baby, is she cold? Is she hungry? You know, it's like they're including you.
It's so sweet. Like when I
Yeah.
saw it, they're just like trying to. And also, the first time I came to Korea, I had like huge suitcases on the subway,
Yeah.
and I didn't know there was like elevators in the subway, so I was taking the stairs to
Ah.
go outside,
Yeah.
and nobody was helping me except for the harmonies.
But one time, I was on a bus and there was like a drunk harmony and she was talking on the phone like very loudly. She was like, "Ah, ah, ah, ah," and everybody like turned around and was like, why is she talking so loud, right? But then she got off the bus and she fell down the stairs.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I was sitting right there and everybody was just like frozen, right? They didn't do anything, so I got up and I tried to help her because she had like a lot of bags and like stuff, and I tried to help her. And then the bus driver, he stopped because like he got out the car and he came over and he was like, oh my God, Weigugin, you're doing a good job, like, you know. and then the harmony, but she was drunk, you know.
She was like,
she was,
she must have just wasted.
Yeah,
She fell down the stairs.
yeah, she was wasted, but we helped her. Anyways, we got back on the bus and I was sitting in the middle of the bus and then the bus driver, through his microphone, he was like trying to talk to me. He was like, Weigugin, where are you from?
Who's gonna do the wish?
You didn't put it in your own glass, right?
But I helped. I had
it
to.
with her finger.
Yeah, I
Then you have
did.
to pour it in her glass.
Okay, okay.
And then she can make a wish. Yeah, so make a wish, blow in it, and close it.
Oh, there's
Where's the?
The wish is gonna escape!
Stay in there, bruh. I need you. I need you. Please stay alive. My wish.
Okay, wish, fighting.
Fighting.
Oh, I never had frozen beer.
Oh, beer slushy.
Beer slushy. This is actually a good
Also-
marketing strategy. Just make everything frozen.
Kelly. Tastes good, even frozen.
Even as a slushy.
Sponsor us. Cider, Kelly, latte, zero, everything.
Oh, look at this.
It's frozen.
완전 slushy 같아.
Oh my god, and so quickly. Are we?
It's not beer. It's ice.
Okay. Ta.
Oh. Oh. But it's so
Are you
wet.
okay?
Please, she's frozen in time.
Are you okay?
Bro.
Are you okay?
Oh, 도와주세요. Can I have some ramyeon, please?
Wow.
Watch out.
Let's do some ramyeon and chill. Just kidding.
라면 언제 처음 먹어봤어요?
어렸을 때 벨기에에서 그 아이키누도라는 라면 브랜드가 있는데 진짜 라면 아닌데
아,
맞아요,
그거
맞아요.
중국 거이나 한국 거?
이거 그냥 벨기에 만든 브랜드예요.
네.
하.
독일에서
또
네,
팔아요?
same, same, same.
We can't cheers. We don't have any alcohol.
Oh no! I'm so sorry. I did it again.
Look at it. Literally 여기까지 얼음이에요.
Oh,
얼음.
if you want a little bit of cider.
망했다.
이거 뭐지?
I've never seen this in my life.
어,
This is so
나도,
funny.
나도.
There's no more cider option. Okay, when you still didn't open the bottle.
Oh yeah, it's your
You
turn.
didn't open the bottle yet.
Oh.
Don't break it.
그래서 이제 너무 추워서 막창 하고 들어가자.
네.
너무 좋아요.
진짜 좋아요.
I like it. Good idea.